Welcome back to the studio here at TechXLR8, part of London Tech Week 2018, where we're going to be talking about data. We haven't spoken too much about data here over the last few days. So joining me to do just that is Rory Donnelly, who is the CEO of Digime. Rory, thank you very much for joining us here on the sofa. So tell me, what is Digime? First of all, let's lay that foundation.
So Digime is a personal data exchange platform. We enable individuals to take back ownership and control of their data, aggregating all the data into one safe digital library, which is stored in a location of your choice. You can put it into your Dropbox, your Google Drive, your OneDrive, really, it's up to you. We ensure that it's secured and completely private. Today we have your social data, your financial data, your health data in certain countries, your wearables, and so on. And really what that does, it enables individuals, first of all, to take control of their data, but most importantly, it enables them to then share that data with third-party businesses that would love to be able to get access to that data. But we're keeping the individual in control at all times. Now, businesses, once they get access to that data, there's lots and lots of things they can do with it. It's now about rich data, which is deeper, wider, fully permissioned, and it's no longer the creepy. We no longer have the creepy line that we have had in the past before 25th of May, of course.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the 25th of May because we'll come to GDPR in just a moment. But I just want to unpack there because there's a lot to land on there. So first of all, you started off with the individual, with me, let's say, or my wife or my mum, and the value for me of bringing all of my different bits of data, whether it's my smartwatch, whether it's my social data, banking or whatever, just talk to me about the different, why I might want to aggregate all of my data into one place. I mean, I can see as the librarian in me thinks that would be great, but I want to get a sense of what that might possibly do for me other than kind of tick a box in the OCD part of my brain.
Yeah, so bringing your data together is really, it's the having control of your data it's a good thing for people to be able to get control of the data. They can go in and use it, they can reuse it, but really the true value, David, is going to come from when they share it with businesses. Because when you share data with businesses, they can give you those personalized experiences. They can't do that today unless you can give them access to that data. And it's the wider aggregated set of data. We all know that the more data you can put together and aggregate it together, the more powerful it comes. But the only person who can really do that is you as an individual. But when you then share that with businesses, that's when businesses can give you a much better experience. They can give you service, convenience, rewards, whatever it may be.
Okay, and then in terms of the businesses and their access, Digime is this platform that aggregates my data. How do the businesses that your customers on that side, how do they interface with the platform? How do they build applications or feeds? How does that bit work?
Yeah, it's really simple. Actually, today here we have a hackathon, and guys, they got access to our SDK. Literally within minutes, they're up and coding. They're away and coding. Very, very simple. You can get access to our SDK on our website. Lots of support materials if you require. But really, it's, guys can start coding on it really quickly. We did a hackathon in Iceland last week. We had teenagers coding. It's child's play stuff. So it's really, really simple. And yeah, very simple.
Now, you mentioned the 25th of May, which for anyone who didn't have that day marked out in big red outlines on their calendar, was GDPR Day here in Europe, and indeed the rest of the world, as we know. My inbox is still recovering from that somewhat, I'm not going to lie. With regards to what you're talking about aggregating individuals, consumers' data, and then sharing that data with organizations, how does GDPR play into that from an individual's point of view, from your point of view as a processor, an aggregated data processor, and then from the organizations who are then hoping to feed back some value from that data?
So really the GDPR is, it should have been here for quite a while ago, I think, but I think what it is, it's really about the privacy that hasn't been apparent, and the way business is being accessing people's data to date. Sometimes, what I called earlier on is the creepy line. You end up seeing this ad for you, but you didn't know how those people got that access to that data. So what we're really doing is we're enabling individuals to get the control of their data, but then to be able to share that data with third-party businesses, but to make sure that it's consented to the third party. That's where they can, you're getting really control over it.
Here at TechXLR8, there's lots of next generation technologies, whether it's 5G, AI, blockchain, and so on. How do those smart technologies, those next gen technologies, how will they influence what you do with Digime, or indeed what your developers building on top of your platform will do?
Yeah, probably the best example I can think of how we might be able to help in the smart technology space is think of AI assistants. Think of Siri. Think of Cortana. Think of Alexa. Today they have, I think they have the early adopters, but they don't have the mass market. And really it's because they don't have access to a huge amount of data for you as an individual. But if they could get access to your wider set of data, they could make these personalized offers which would be really spot on. And the best example I could give of that, just as one example, say you're going to Mumbai in a couple of weeks. You could ask your AI assistant, say, listen, Alexa or whoever, I'm going to Mumbai. Can you tell me what vaccinations are required there? And actually, are my vaccinations up to date? But because you've given access to your health data, your medical records, which would have your vaccinations, and by the way, you can do this privately, so you're not actually sharing all that data. This can be done on device, what we call as edge processing. So by doing that, this personal assistant, this AI assistant, could tell you, you are missing this vaccination, you need to go and get a vaccination for that in 3 weeks' time, or 3 weeks before you leave, and actually I can set up the appointment for you. How good is that? It's really, as I said earlier on, it's like going from steam power to electric power.
Okay, terrific. And as you're walking around the floor here, you, obviously with your Digime hat on, or without it, is there any technology here that you're particularly excited about? We're looking at IoT, we're looking at AI, we're looking at 5G. Anything that's particularly got you interested and excited here today?
To be honest with you, I've just arrived, so apologies about that, but literally all this stuff here, this is new technology, it's innovation, this is where we live, This is what it's all about. We're a sponsor of the hackathon that's going on, and it's really, really interesting to see these guys coming up with this new innovative ideas really, really quickly. So delighted to be here. I'm just about to go out and have a further gander.
Well, in which case, I won't hold you back from your gander. Rory, Donnelly from Digime, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, David. Thank you.